Now at 9, a historical debate, what to expect when Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump take to the stage for the 2024 presidential election.
And an honorable tradition making its return to the city. See what Minnetrista offered to the locals who served our country.
Then, a plane crashed near the Anderson Municipal Airport. NewsLink Indiana has an update on the details.
The early birds get the worm and a cup of joe. Hear from a car club who gets their miles in the morning.
And I'm tracking some warming conditions as well as a chance of rain later in the week.
Local news about local people, live from Ball State Unified Media. You're watching NewsLink Indiana.
Good evening and thanks for being with us tonight. I'm Abby Urban.
And I'm Aiden Murray. Election season is kicking into high gear with candidates going head-to-head, putting their policies and personalities on full display for voters.
We're just 24 hours away from the high-stakes presidential debate between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump. Reporter Michael Yoshida joins us live with more on what to be looking for.
Debates and their memorable moments historically are critical to candidates' successes and failures.
The 1980s are now calling to ask for their foreign policy back.
President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump's matchup changed the 2024 race entirely.
If we finally beat Medicare.
Now, Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump are facing off for the first time.
For the typical viewer who's watching this with some degree of how am I going to vote and I'm trying to inform myself, whereas Kamala Harris coming from on policy and personality, whereas Donald Trump coming from on policy and credibility.
Frank Sesno of George Washington University says even though theatrics often replace substance, when watching any political debate, voters should
listen closely to what these candidates say about the particulars of policy, how they would pay for them, what the implications are, how far they would reach, how they would implement them.
And note how the candidates respond to each other.
The interaction between the two of them will be very important. One, for how they define themselves and they try to define the other. Two, how they deal with a difficult situation.
The debate should last around 90 minutes, which may seem like a big commitment, but Sesno says it's an investment every voter should make.
Who of these two candidates is saying something that will address the issues and the problems that I and my family are confronting? And who seems most credible and most relatable on that level?
In Washington, I'm Michael Yoshida reporting.
This event has raised attention and anticipation as polls show there is still no clear leader in this race.
Republicans and Democrats released dueling documents on the deadly August 2021 U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan today. The withdrawal left 13 U.S. service members dead and left behind thousands of Afghans who had worked with the U.S. The reports came after years of investigation by Republicans on the House Foreign Affairs Committee. The GOP report accuses President Biden of demanding a U.S. exit no matter the cost, and it claims his administration prioritized optics over personal security. Democrats, including the White House, have cast blame on the Trump administration for striking a deal with the Taliban that set the U.S. withdrawal into motion.
A single-engine plane crashed into a cornfield in Anderson on Friday morning. The flight was from Fort Dodge, Iowa, and was set to land at the Anderson Municipal Airport. The plane's altitude was too high, and the solution was to locate a new approach to land on a different runway. An eyewitness told police that the plane appeared to flip over and nosedive into the field. There were no survivors among the 4 passengers, according to the Madison County Coroner press release.
The Exchange Club of Muncie is yet again hosting its annual memorial event. NewsLink Indiana's Wyatt Mayer has more.
Every single year, there are over 1,000 American flags placed here in Minnetrista to help honor veterans. Not only are these flags a stunning attraction for locals, they also have plenty of meaning behind them.
I wanted to put up 1,000 flags to honor the patriotism of the veterans, especially veterans and first responders.
The Flags of Honor holds a special place in many Muncie locals' hearts. However, to former president of the Muncie Exchange Club, Forrest Bowers, these flags mean something a little more.
Well, it means a lot, especially today with the situations we have around the world, and to watch, especially watch the young people, the little children, and we give them a flag as well. It's just patriotic, and I like to see the reactions of separate other individuals.
After starting back in 2013, the Muncie Exchange Club partners up with Minnetrista Museum and Gardens to wave over 1,000 American flags to help honor U.S. veterans.
We have the first flag that was made by Betsy Frost, not the original, of course, and then as the states were added, the flags then increased by that number, and so there's 27 different flags that represent our nation as each individual.
For more information, go to MuncieExchangeClub.com. Muncie, Wyatt Mayer, NewsLink, Indiana.
Woo! If you would like to see the flags of honor, their closing ceremony will be held this Wednesday, September 11th at 6 p.m. You know, we've really had some really great weather this weekend.
Yeah, I will say that the football game this weekend, amazing weather.
Beautiful. And we're going to take it over to Ian for first weather. Ian?
Yeah, I was really excited for those great temperatures out at the ball game this weekend. We're starting to cool down a little bit today. 62 degrees right now in Muncie, 69 in Indianapolis. We're going to expect it to cool down about another 10 degrees. Overall, though, we've warmed up quite a bit. 8-degree 24-hour temperature change in Muncie, 8 degrees in Indianapolis as well. A bit warmer down towards the south. Those warming conditions are setting a trend that we're going to see over these next couple of days. So if you want to find out more about clear skies for now, warm conditions, and a chance of rain returning later in the week, stay tuned for the rest of the show.
Miami Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill was detained for a short time by police in Miami Gardens. The team said police stopped Hill, who was driving near the stadium ahead of Sunday's season opener game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hill's agent said the player received a ticket for a moving violation, but doesn't know why he ended up in handcuffs on the ground. Hill was soon released, but the agent said the incident left him rattled. Police say the officer involved in the arrest will be reassigned to administrative duties while an internal investigation is conducted.
Coming up, learn about a local farmers market's hope to jumpstart its small businesses.
And find out how a local club is fueling their love for classic cars.
Dear moms and dads, what you have achieved here today is going to help us and our futures. It is why we are coming up on stage to collect your diplomas.
You know it's true.
Mom, we love you always.
Everything I do.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Man, it's lonely. Like, going through life lonely.
There is the therapeutic aspect of music, just expressing how you feel. I'm going to talk to Howie about his feelings, make it into a song.
Welcome back. This past weekend, Grateful Fest came to town for our furry friends. Grateful Fest is a festival full of vendors and games to show love and support for dogs. If you and your pet love food, there was more than enough for you and your companion to enjoy. There were homemade and vegetarian treats ranging from kibble to chicken bones. As for the owners, there were chicken and corn dog food trucks. One owner says that there's always something about the event that keeps them coming back.
We like to come here to show off our dogs and also to go see all the other dogs. We've been coming here for 3 years.
At the event, the donations were put towards Grateful Rescue and Sanctuary.
Drivers, start your engines. Our Sophie Schick has the details on a local car show.
Classic cars rolled into Muncie this weekend for a special event that had car enthusiasts revved up. That special event is called Cars and Coffee, which is hosted monthly by the Muncie Volkswagen Club. Now this showcase is exactly what it sounds like. With the showcase right across from the caffeinery on Walnut Street, participants could grab a cup of joe to warm their hands, just like their engines. The Muncie Volkswagen Club always attracts a wide variety of classic and vintage cars. From Volkswagens to Alfa Romeos, Cars and Coffee drives nostalgia for all enthusiasts.
I've been around cars all my life. My dad had cars growing up, so just always interested in cars. Had a couple different cars, but got a job closer to home back in 2005 and wanted something fun just to drive back and forth to work.
But these showcases aren't exclusive to club members. People who are just along for the ride can still enjoy the events.
I think some of it was more so a slow build, just being immersed in it, realizing I love the art of the styling of the cars more so. I actually went to college for vehicle design. I like drawing cars a lot.
The Muncie Volkswagen Club doesn't just celebrate the automobiles, but also the stories living in the glove compartments. In Muncie, Sophie Schick, NewsLink, Indiana.
If you're interested in going to the next Cars and Coffee showcase, visit the Muncie Volkswagen Club Facebook page.
Local Albany farmers market vendors sold freshly grown produce, artisan goods, and more yesterday, providing a hub to consumers looking for local businesses is the market's goal. The farmers market began in early May and plans to stay open till September 9th. Local vendors sell an assortment of goods at the Big Park from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. every Sunday. The event brings many service areas together for a sense of community with the hope to promote their small businesses. One herbalist and baker believes the farmers market is a great jump start to grow her and other vendors' small businesses. On occasion, visitors may expect live music and entertainment. For more information about upcoming events, visit Albany, Indiana Farmers Market on Facebook.
Ready to warm up? Find out next on NewsLink Indiana.
As a dad, every day is a challenge. To make sure that the time that I have, I spend with them. It doesn't matter how tired you are, you have to try and to teach them. When they learn something new, and you can just see in their faces, it's such an incredible moment. It's those moments that are my favorite.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
When tornadoes touched down in parts of our viewing area, NewsLink Indiana kept you informed days in advance.
You do need to be seeking shelter.
Marginal risk of severe weather.
And days after.
The roof has been ripped completely off of this house.
Giving you a first-hand look at the communities affected.
When your neighbors lose their house and you don't, how lucky you are.
The first to alert you of severe weather before it happens. NewsLink Indiana Weather.
Can't believe you're doing this alone. I've done it before. I remember you threw your back out. How you holding up? Hand me that board. Nothing wrong with getting help. I'm good. I did it when Felicia left. I'll figure it out. I know you will, but you don't have to do it alone. That's all I'm saying. If I promise to look into it, will you drop it and help me build this fence? Now you need my help. It can be a real pain sometimes, you know that?
Mm-hmm. If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Welcome back. A bridge fire began to spread in California's Angeles National Forest yesterday afternoon. The fire has burned over 800 acres, fire officials said. The fire is at 0% containment, and evacuation orders are in place for a mobile home park, campgrounds, and a small river community. Night-flying helicopters have been deployed in the effort to control the blaze.
We've seen a pretty average day for this time of year. Pleasant conditions as we start to cool down this evening. 62 degrees in Muncie, 69 in Indianapolis, those mid to low 60s across the state. Again, we've talked about these normal temperatures. Our average high for this day is 81 degrees. 79 was today's high, far away from that record high of 92 degrees. So pretty pleasant overall. We're going to continue to cool down into this evening. Might want a jacket. 52 degrees and mostly clear skies. Some really light winds overall. Pretty pleasant evening once again. Tomorrow, we're going to start to warm up bit by bit, and that's going to continue into the rest of the week. At 8 a.m., it's going to be 51 degrees. Noon, 74 degrees, 84 degrees at 5 p.m., and these sunny skies throughout. Great day to get outside, start to get involved around campus, go on your walks. That's not going to last forever, especially as this humidity starts to return. It's been pretty dry over these last few days, and it's going to continue up until Wednesday. You can see these dew points in the mid-50s, low 50s, and mid-40s. That's not going to last forever. Although, for now, we're going to be in this drought. You see, this yellow dry area is the lowest on the drought monitor, slightly to be concerned about, but this moderate zone is where we're really watching. Hasn't seen rain in a while up towards Portland and Winchester. Until later this week, you can see behind me this jet stream, and as that pushes north and this dark red area moves into Muncie and Chicago, that's going to leave room for more moisture in the upper air, and that's going to lead to potential for more storms later this week. It's going to be clear skies to start out like we've discussed. Behind me, you can see Wednesday and into Thursday, you're going to see clear skies up from most of northern Indiana. This line of clouds is where we're going to start to watch as Tropical Storm Francine begins to develop and slowly push towards the north. You can see this line of storms starting to move in. There's a degree of uncertainty. You can see it stalling out behind me around halfway through the state. That uncertainty is going to change up a little bit as we head into these next couple of days. As that tropical storm potentially develops into a hurricane, could intensify, could weaken. So you're going to want to keep an eye on the forecast as we head into the rest of the week. You can see it's a little dicey, much more confident in those rain chances throughout the bottom of the state. Those rain is going to continue into Sunday, potentially a little bit into Monday. I don't think it's very likely though, as that rain chance starts to dissipate early into next week. Thursday and Friday, 89 degrees, cooling down since that cold front is going to move into the area with that chance of rain. That rain chance starts Friday evening, continues into Saturday. Again, some uncertainty, so I kept it only at a 30% chance. Sunday, 60% chance of showers. 78 degrees will be our high. 76 degrees will be our high on Monday, with that chance of showers hanging around just a little bit longer, 20% chance that day. Overall, I think you're just going to want to take these next couple of days to try to get out and around campus and enjoy what you can until that rain arrives later this week.
Yeah, we got a lot of weather whiplash going on over here, Ian, but thank you so much. There's lots more to get to tonight on NewsLink Indiana. Jaden Collins has a preview of sports.
A new season starts on the gridiron at 2 levels, including on foreign ground, and one local high school team is on track to repeat. All this next on sports.
It's something about having that piece of paper. Some people think that's worth more than my skills.
I've run this place for 20 years, but I still need to prove that I'm more than what you see on paper.
You just gotta be so good they can't ignore you.
It's the way my mind works. I have a very mechanical brain.
Analytics and empathy. That's how I've gained clients.
I am more.
I'm more
than who I am on paper.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere, and just growing up the way I grew up and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
¿Qué color? Perfecto, amigo.
Gracias. Thank you.
What's wrong, mijo?
Donating to a pet's medical care is one of the many ways you can help families in your community.
Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
At night, NewsLink Indiana brings you the news before you go to bed.
But Friday mornings, you're waking up with Cardinal weather, bringing you up to speed on the day's top stories.
And giving you up-to-the-minute conditions from the Ball State Weather Center.
And of course, lots of fun.
I gave mine personality. Look, it's got eyebrows.
Ooh, my lucky glove didn't even work.
But I also am excited for those fall temperatures.
Start your Friday mornings with Cardinal weather, live on the Cardinal Weather Facebook page.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Jaden Collins with sports. The NFL made its debut on a new continent Friday night. The Eagles and Packers traveled to Sao Paulo, Brazil for the league's first game in South America. The game featured Jalen Hurts and Jordan Love, two of the best young quarterbacks in the league, going head-to-head in front of a sold-out Brazilian crowd. Saquon Barkley made an immediate impact for his new team, scoring the Eagles' first points of the season on this touchdown pass from Jalen Hurts. The Packers would fight back, but an injury to Jordan Love on their final drive would dash their chances at the win, as the Eagles would prevail by a final score of 34-29. To keep things on the gridiron, Ball State football is set to kick off their historic season. NewsLink Indiana's Jake Garcia went down on the field to learn more.
There's only one Team 100. None of us will be alive for Team 200.
Over the weekend, Ball State football kicked off their 100th season in program history. Head coach Mike New touches on what being Team 100 means to this group of Cardinals.
There's a lot of guys that put on a Ball State uniform before us that take a lot of pride in this program. And it's a great responsibility that we have to wear that name on our chest and to have that helmet on. We want to make sure we make those guys that played before us proud.
With the Missouri State Bears in town, the Cardinals will look to start this historic season off on the right foot. After an unfortunate pick six forced by the Bears secondary, quarterback Caden Samanza responds by using his legs to put the Cards on the board. Samanza with vocal leadership on the sideline to build on that momentum.
Just keep going. Like we always say, keep going, keep your head up. Defense had our back that whole first half. It was about time we got there, so I told them, reminded them, keep doing your thing, we got your back, and we're going to be all right.
Ball State would then find a rhythm that would allow them to soar, closing out the home opener with a 42-34 win over Missouri State. After having himself a day, transfer running back Braden Sloan shares the team's atmosphere after the win.
You know, just to come out with a win is very special, and then we get into the locker room. You know, you got the music going, people dancing and everything. It's just really exciting because, like I said, it's hard to win. You know, just glad that we got that first one.
With Team 100 off to a 1-0 start, cornerback Miles Norwood gives some insight about the rest of the season.
That this team could be special. You know, it's Team 100. Everybody's bought into each other. We all love each other like we're brothers. So it's going to be a great year.
The Cardinals will travel to Miami for their next matchup against the Hurricanes this Saturday at 3:30 p.m. In Muncie, Jake Garcia, NewsLink, Indiana.
To pass it over to the hardwood, Muncie Burris women's volleyball looks to continue their hot start to the season. Through their first 16 games, they are 14-2 and are currently undefeated in Pioneer Conference play. The reigning state champs are in Class 2A are led by head coach Jim Craig and star hitter Lily Howell. Howell, a commit to UNC Charlotte who leads the state in successful hitting percentage, has high hopes for the rest of the season.
It feels amazing. It's feeling really promising at the moment. I just feel like we're starting off really strong. I hope that we can continue our streak and just move off of the games that we have been winning so far.
The Owls have won 8 of their last 10 matchups and will look to stay undefeated on the road as they travel to face Delta on Wednesday. Well, guys, I'd like to tell you the fall sports season is in full swing, and the environment at Schumann Stadium on Saturday was electric for the first football game.
I mean, the weather was beautiful. The game we won. So, I mean, that's all I could ask for, honestly, for our first Cardinal game.
Absolutely. I mean, just being there in the student section, amazing atmosphere, and even after the game, it was nonstop talk about those amazing plays.
Yeah, I'll have to talk to Ian about the UV index because I got that sunburn in the student section.
No, for real. Well, thank you so much, Jaden.
Yep.
Well, it is one of those days where you might see a little bit of sunburn since we're going to have clear skies and warm conditions over the next couple of days. Tuesday, Wednesday, highs of 84 and 87, 89 on Thursday. Some cloud cover starts to come into our area. On Friday, that's when you see that chance of rain in those evening hours start to arrive. 76 degrees as we cool down as a front will move through our area. 80 degrees will be our high on Saturday. That chance of rain starts to build up as we get into Sunday. and through the rest of the week as Tropical Storm Francine moves into our area.
Attacks against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders are on the rise.
My simple solution to the problem was remove people from the scene and help them feel safer. In terms of the hate crimes, I think there is so much more work to be done. We really need to come together and tackle this issue as a community.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable. The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. We're expecting some pretty pleasant conditions over these next couple days. As the rain moves in towards the weekend, that's when you're going to start to see some clouds and showers.
Well, I'm excited for the rain and obviously the good weather, but we're looking forward to it. Thank you, Ian. As we begin the new year of NewsLink Indiana, we cannot help but to remember our former news director, Grace Minkowski. On July 25th, Grace was struck by a train at Egwish Station in Chicago coming home from her job at News Nation. Grace Minkowski changed the lives of many inside and out of the Unified Media Lab and is the gold standard for members here at NewsLink Indiana. As we mourn her loss, we remember her for all she has done.
Hi, Elsie. I'm Grace Benkowski.
And I'm Grace Benkowski.
I'm your host, Josh Burnett.
And I'm Grace Benkowski. Let's get right into it. And I'm Grace Benkowski. Here we go.
And I'm Grace Benkowski. And I'm Grace Benkowski. Thanks for being with us. Good night. Good evening. I'm Grace Benkowski. Good evening. Thanks for being with us. I'm Grace Benkowski.
And I'm Grace Benkowski.
Good evening. I'm Grace Benkowski.
And I'm Grace Benkowski. Thanks for joining us at 9. I'm Grace Benkowski.
Educators are providing students with something to carry with them for the rest of their lives.
And we will definitely take your audition into consideration.
7 years is a lot of time.
Yes.
Thank you, and remember who signed your diploma.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're right about that.
All right, that's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to join us again tomorrow night at 9, streaming live on the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page. And for news anytime, anywhere, go to ballstatedaily.com. Have a great night.
The true definition of love and light. Grace was a kind, caring, and truly beautiful soul. She was a fearless leader and always led with love, laughter, and a whole lot of heart. A mentor that taught me why you lead is way more important than how you do it. On top of being a top-notch leader, she was also a wonderful friend. Grace was always there, whether to cry, laugh, or just mindlessly talk. Even though this transition has been rough, I know she is looking down with nothing less than a smile on her face, and definitely a laugh or two. We will continue to remember Grace in NewsLink Indiana for years to come, as we look back on this final clip from her final show.
Okay, that was sad. But again,
Again, the two hardest things to say in life are hello for the first time and goodbye for the last.